Deschamps France vowed to make Denmark boss, eat his words in Decider. Didier Deschamps insisted his France team will not be inclined to do Denmark any favors in their Group C decider on Tuesday, with stinging Danish insults still ringing in Les Bleus' ears. Denmark manager Age Hareide was particularly withering of Deschamps and some of his leading men prior to departure to Russia. 3 weeks on, as Hareide's side face France at the Luzhniki in need of a point to secure progress to the last 16, his barbs may come back to bite him. The veteran Norwegian labeled France as nothing special in a pre-tournament interview before lampooning Paul Pogba in particular. "I don't believe in this team," Hareide said. "They don't have a leader such as Zinedine Zidane to lead them, someone who knew how to galvanize them." On Pogba he added, "Good grief, does he only think about his haircuts? He played against Manchester City with his hair dyed blue and white, maybe he'll have it red and white to play us." On the eve of their meeting in Moscow, Deschamps was visibly irked when reminded of the comments. Asked whether they would add salt to what could otherwise shape to be a pedestrian meeting of qualified and almost qualified teams, the manager said the insults had been heard loud and clear. "Salt, pepper, vinegar, call it whatever you wish. Anybody can say what they want, but anybody can then take the responsibility of his own words," said the 1998 World Cup winning captain. "It's not particularly pleasant. My players know very well what the coach said. They can read, they can listen, but that's not what is going to overmotivate the players." With the Scandinavians needing just a point to see off the threat of Group C's third-placed side Australia, who play Peru in Sochi on Tuesday, the prospect of France and Denmark playing out a draw that would suit all parties was floated. But with temperatures between the sides raised, Deschamps immediately shut it down. "No, we are not going to give them a helping hand," he said. "The aim is to be first in the group. I will never envisage to say to my team that we'll play for a draw. A draw may favor both teams, but I am not here to talk about the Danes." While Hareide had taken aim at Pogba's off-field activities, the player himself had focused on his on-field prospects on Sunday when he suggested philosophically that this could be his last World Cup. Deschamps, however, was having none of it as he again defended the Manchester United midfielder. "I don't think it's going to be his last World Cup because he is 25 years old. In 4 years' time he will be 29. It's highly probable that he can play more World Cups," added the French manager. "I always see the same Paul Pogba. Of course over 15 days he is not suddenly going to change from an ugly duckling into someone who is going to be, too, sincere. He's always like that, he's had to go through some difficult periods. But in my relationship with him, I see always the same player. He's good in his head, he's happy and motivated." The war of words with the Danes is arguably a welcome sideshow for Deschamps, as France have spluttered in their first 2 outings in Russia, requiring a penalty and own goal to sneak by Australia and failing to fire for large parts before narrowly seeing off Peru. Despite criticism in his homeland about his failure to find a settled system that gets the most out of a panel dripping with attacking talent, Deschamps will continue with his tinkering ways at the Luzhniki Stadium. Real Madrid's Raphael Varane will captain what shapes to be a much-changed France side on Tuesday, with skipper Hugo Lloris rested in favor of veteran goalkeeper Steve Mandanda. Antoine Griezmann will also likely be held in reserve, in spite of his eagerness to start. "Ideally, when you do get 6 points after the first 2 games, you know that you are qualified," Deschamps said. "The objective for tomorrow is very clear. We want to be first in group, but we have to assess the individual situation of every player. Yellow cards also have an impact. If I can preserve some players, after this it won't be possible. The hopes for this French generation should be sky high, but doubts persist." After tripping up in the final of Euro 2016 on home soil 2 summers ago, there remain concerns over this team's ability to click like the golden generation of 1998. Stand-in captain Varane insisted that the comparisons between then and now aren't grating on the 2018 brigade. "No, we're not fed up with it, they won the World Cup," said the defender. "Of course it's different now, It's difficult to compare generations like that, but we can find inspiration in what they did together. If we're getting so fed up with being compared to them, we have to win, and then nobody will bother us about it.